Okay guys, due to all the incredible consternation regarding this latest Naruto video that I uploaded, as far as Pain and his ambitions, and obviously I'm not a Pain supporter, particularly at the point we're at right now in the story, and that creates a lot of angst for many of you. I was reading the comments and I started to answer some of them because there's a shit ton of misconceptions in here, but it would have taken forever. So I was going to do the pick the winner for the Sakura pop today, but we'll put that off till tomorrow. I'll make this video just to see. First of all, I want to know, you guys, and again, I know that anime fandom, I've learned, can be very, very stressful thing for some people. If you guys don't enjoy these videos where there might be some level of disagreement about characters or, you know, things that are taking place, we can always skip them. I mean, I'm done with this arc. I've recorded several days in advance. I think I have one episode left. We can just skip by them and move on to the others when we get to it. And, you know, I can post these others, I don't even know, or Patreon or something like that for the Patreon crew that wants to see it. That's up to you guys. That makes no difference to me. They're already uploaded. I just have to make them available day by day. But all that said, I'll address some of these because it seems like it's a big deal to a lot of people. First of all, I'm well aware, I mentioned it several times in the videos. I don't know, I'm not sure what I end up cutting, because over half of these videos are cut every time, so maybe I never mentioned on camera. It's blindingly obvious that the idea of the tailed beasts is that they are essentially nukes, weapons of mass destruction. I get that. I get the whole mutually assured destruction thing. I lived through it. I'm old enough. I remember the Cold War. Yes, I understand Pain's philosophy of if you provide all 5 great nations with a weapon of mass destruction, that keeps the peace because they're all assured of their own demise should they lash out against each other. That's not, Pain himself says that's not a permanent solution. So eventually when the wars do take place again, I think for Pain, his pain has been so great that he just wants to let others feel that pain. And I think by providing these weapons of mass destruction, he's just doing that. Now, again, I don't have a problem with that philosophy, but I don't jump on Pain's bandwagon simply because, in essence, what he's saying is what's been done all along. We'll bring peace, he'll bring peace through violence and superior strength. Okay, that's not new. That's what I'm trying to say. And again, the sentiment I get from a lot of you that, well, you have to understand that Pain feels his pain and he's justified in going after the Leaf because the major nations had run roughshod over him and his family and his home for years. So of course he's justified in it. Well, yeah. Well, no kidding. That doesn't mean I root for him, because now when you come back after those big nations, they're not just going to lie down and take it either. They're going to fight back at you. That's the nature of war. That concept of the little guy standing up to fight for his rights is not new. It may be admirable. Obviously, a lot of you guys appreciate it. To me, it's just another element of war. Okay, now the little guy jumped up. He's going to take a swing at the big guy. The big guy's going to swing back at him. That's war. There's nothing new here. But what I'll do, we'll go through, I'll take some of these comments, I'll respond to them. You guys let me know what you think. If this is too stressful for everybody to enjoy together, because again, community element is a big deal to me, we can skip this arc and move on and see what the next one brings. But that, you know, that'd be up to you guys. But let's go through some. Just, it's a lot easier than trying to write these out for all these different comments. Pain wants to create the nuke paradox. Yes, we cover that. That I'm aware of. If you see from Pain's perspective, Saju Bear says, his friend's family nation been killed and destroyed every time great nations had war. Yeah, we just talked about that. While trying to rebuild just to get destroyed again, new friends dying at the hands. He told Tsunade that she had felt a little of the pain he had felt. Again, understandable still, and again, that obviously makes Pain a sympathetic character to a lot of you. It doesn't make him unsympathetic to me. It's just another aspect of war. He was, you know, the big guys beat him up, so he wants to beat up the big guys. It's understandable, but I don't expect the big guys to go, oh, okay, well, you know what, we were wrong, kick our ass. Sworn to Chia, even if you win the war, the losers will still seek vengeance. That's basically it. Thus, this endless cycle continues. Well said. That's basically it. Now, these are a couple of ones I started replying to before I realized it was going to be too overwhelming. Your hatred of this God complex has clouded your judgment just a bit. You don't like religion, that's okay, but listen to the speech and its true meaning. I'm well aware of its true meaning. Most of the things you argued, Paine literally addressed them seconds later. It was disappointing to see this not because you don't agree, but you didn't even try to understand what Paine said. That's a hell of a leap, a very peaceful guy. I understand what he's saying. I don't have to agree with it. There's a lot of consensus that if I don't agree with something, well, I just didn't understand it. Because obviously, you have to understand that the little guy is going to rise up against the big guy, and you have to be for that. It's just more war. It's just more, you know. And actually, Paine has now become the big guy on behalf of the little guy, and now he wants to inflict, or he wants to bring about his version of peace through his superior firepower. Maybe does it make his more palatable because he's already been victimized? To some people, I'm sure it does. And then we get, well, when you open with leave Paine alone, all I could think of was leave Brittany alone from that viral video years ago. So now we're into fanboyism though there. How could you even understand Nagato? You haven't even heard the full story yet. Don't judge the book by its color. I assume that was supposed to be cover. Attaching Paine. Now, this is an interesting sentiment I've seen before. So basically, don't judge the book by its cover. You haven't heard the full story yet. So what I'm assuming, Super Saiyan Blue and others with that sentiment, you'd rather I do a reaction video silently until I have the story as a whole, and then just, I'm assuming, give my thoughts and feelings at that point. Because as I'm watching, I can only give you a reaction or my thoughts and feelings to what I've seen so far. I can't give you my reaction to the series as a whole until I see the series as a whole. So I'm not sure what exactly you're looking for there, but that sentiment's repeated a lot. That, you know, how can you say this? Because Paine ends up doing this, this, and that. And it's like, oh, well, I guess I should have factored that in, even though I hadn't seen it yet. Eden Sphinx, the genius behind Paine's speech is that he presented Naruto with a paradox. He showed Naruto that in the ninja world, hatred may be the problems caused by war, which in turn caused by hatred. Again, what we're talking about over and over. Yeah, that's basically talking the same thing again. Yes, war is we hate you, you hate me, I hit you back. Let's see who hits hardest and last. Paine is going to be just more justified than the hidden leaf, I'm sure he meant. He was just stating that he has much right to seek out his justice dream. Absolutely. You even agreeing with Paine that he's pretty much stating that a permanent peace is impossible. That part I do agree with. And that only temporary peace can be achieved by forcing it. If anything, you should be more on Paine's side than Jiraiya's, because you even said that's not going to happen. And again, it's a misunderstanding. Yes, I said, and you'll see it in upcoming videos, if you guys want to continue with these, when Jiraiya in flashback talks again about he feels that peace can come about and be everlasting. No, I don't agree with that. I don't think that can happen. However, it doesn't mean I have to agree with Paine's methods. And the only thing I disagree with are Paine's methods. I don't think they're going to work. I think it's just furthering a war. He has every right to do it, but it's no more noble than anybody else's. That's my point. Again, you guys seem to have... the fact that I don't see things the same way that you do confused with a misunderstanding of what he wants to accomplish. What you should do with the whole episode is 30... No, we can't do that. That doesn't work at all within fair use. I just like him because he's a beast. Now, Manu, I can agree with that. That's what I like about Paine, is he's a badass. And again, I like the Paine character. I think he's a great villain, but doesn't mean I have to jump on board and say, yes, go Team Paine, fuck you, Team Leaf, because I don't see it that way. You don't win wars, you survive them. Certainly true. Certainly true. And this is just, again, the incredibly obvious point of the mutually assured destruction. Next episode is going to be Madara is still pulling the strings, by the way. By killing those who are still warring, was your answer then would be okay at the time of the Leafs war to kill Jiraiya, Kakashi, Tsunade, every good character, Leaf military? Well, absolutely. If you're in time of war, of course you're going to try and take out the top people. That's why Jiraiya and Kakashi are gone. He had a view of the Akatsuki being the bad guys, and in an instant you have to question who's really the bad guys, because after all, no, that's not true for me. Whether or not you viewed the Akatsuki as being the bad guy, just because I understand their motivations for wanting to kill others, that doesn't mean you have to question who's good and who's bad. Maybe, and in most cases, it's shades of gray, and both are part bad guy, part good guy. Absolutely, no doubt about it. The reason I root for the characters I root for is because I've grown to like them and enjoy them. And again, just like I said with Hedon, I had to root, for me, I had to root for him to be stopped, and the only way to stop him was, well, I don't know if we killed him or not, but buried his head anyway, because I didn't want him to keep killing characters that I already had an affection for. As far as a character, he's badass as hell. Pain was saying that since he experienced pain from Naruto's village, I think, due to him being Nagato, the people take some moral high ground when they're causing great evil. Again, not questioning his motives at all. I think he misunderstood Pain's plan. His plan is to create a tail beast weapon, obviously the 10 tails, all the beasts will wipe out countries and bring more violence. I don't think so. I think what others have said and was brought to my attention, I agreed with, was I think he wanted to distribute them to throughout the world and create the mad situation. You should really wait before passing the judgment on Pain. He is everyone's favorite character for no reason. Again, as Max is saying here, I don't know if that means you guys would prefer I watch these and make no comments about where it stands right now until we get to the end of an arc. If that's the case, I wouldn't really be interested in doing these. I don't care if you really understood Pain's speech. It is funny, though, because I didn't jump up and go, oh, now I get it. He was the downtrodden. He's righteous. And the leaf is, because I didn't feel that way, it's like, well, you didn't understand it because you would have to feel that way. Holier Than Thou speech, same title as his live streaming video. Again, I've explained this a bunch of times. I record several days in advance. The conversations we have in the anime chat videos, live streams, reflect where I am watching them, not where I am posting them. Basically, the solution to world peace, there is none, no matter what you do. Absolutely. That I agree with. So you just create longer periods of peace by having the damage war be even greater, while in turn shortening the length of the wars due to said damage. Yeah, I agree with that. But we, you know, a lot of these are stuff we already covered. Nuclear bombs also bring peace to our world because everybody's afraid of a war, mutually assured destruction. Again, especially America uses it to stop the war with Japan. Again, I'm well aware of those. I lived through that. But it doesn't stop war throughout the world, because if you think about it, Russia and the United States, we're at odds in many places around the world. It just hasn't got to a nuclear level yet. And without nukes, would Russia have invaded the U.S. or would the U.S. have invaded Russia? Who knows? All we know for sure is the fact that we could both annihilate each other many times over has maintained at least a peace below an apocalyptic level. The apocalypse hasn't happened. One thing I really, just the various philosophies. Yeah, I do enjoy the philosophies. And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to discourage any type of conversation. I like having the conversation. I like the fact that you guys see things differently than I do. It apparently creates some great consternation, though, for some of you guys, if someone has a differing of an opinion. Or it just has to be written off as, well, you didn't understand what he said, because you would have to agree with me. Trigger cycle, and another pain will be inevitable to rise. Yep, agreed. Shit animation coming. Nuclear deterrent in a nutshell. Yep. I think the reason most people like Pain, or at least the reason I like him, is not because they agree with him, but because he's such a well-developed character and his motivations feel genuine. That I completely I concur with. He's not, at least he became, now that I've seen the totality of his arc, the thing that's endeared Pain to me more than anything else was I always like any character, whether they're supposed to be a good guy or bad guy, any character who gets to a point where he can sit back, self-reflect, and go, you know, I was going this way, maybe this way is better. And that's what Pain clearly does. I have tons and tons of respect for that. But again, some of you wanted me to have that respect for him before I saw it. The most important part is how much of a challenge Pain is for Naruto, not just physically but mentally too. Yeah, I agree with that. His plan for peace is the most counterproductive thing I've ever heard. Well, that's basically where Zion Archive and I are basically, I don't know if it's the most counterproductive thing I've ever heard, but it's not productive. So I'm in basic agreement there. They still don't understand. Hope with the backstory would help, but I doubt it. Again, a little bit of an arrogant post there. I didn't agree with you, so I didn't understand. The backstory helps to tell me more of Pain's Pain's travels to get where he's gotten, but it's not the backstory that changed my views on him as much as it was in real time when we had Naruto and Pain faced off. They both went down a similar path, same instructor. Pain, for lack of a better term, gave in to the dark side because of his pain. Naruto rose above his pain. In that instant, when he was faced with that decision about what to do right then and there with Pain and oh my God, why the hell is her name gone out of my head? I only said it about 27 times today, and now it's gone. But the female member with Pain there, why is her? I called her Pamphlets, but I thought I was past having to do that because her name just won't come back to me again. But when he was faced with that decision, he decided to take Pervy Sage's path, even though I don't think there is a path to true lasting peace. Naruto went that way. You're a little butthurt over him calling himself a god and you can't get over that, LOL. Or you're a little butthurt that I didn't come around to seeing Pain the same way you did. I guess it depends on which way you look at it. Pain is wrong because Naruto is too. He's talking about Jiraiya, Kakashi, and see Pain as pure shit, but Konoha just destroyed the life of Pain, literally destroyed. This part I agree with. That's called war. That's why they're on opposite sides of the fence, because they both have their reasons for wanting the other one destroyed. Cut into parts, but both parts in a day. Oh, okay. As long as you know, that would completely go fly in the face of everything I use in protecting these when we do get a copyright strike or any type of claim. The reason I'm successfully to defend them all is because of the way we do things, and that would undercut all of it. Let's see. Reasons for the war have been religious issues or political issues. Now when someone from conflict-ridden regions like Syria sees people, whose fault is it? Innocents dying. Who's to be blamed for this? Terrorists or the one who created those terrorists? Yeah, and again, it all comes down to the same things. Whatever your particular choice of violence may be, it's all about violence to bring the peace or violence to bring the world that I personally want. Whether you're little or whether you're big, it's still the same basic motives. Curtis, everyone can see the death of Pa and the ass whooping and the toads trigger to the point. Use your confirmation emotional bias to skim over Pain's speech rather than thinking deeper about it. Here we go again. I can't blame you. The episode is structured the way so the individual watching must let go of his own hatred towards Pain and truly listen and contemplate his words, just like Naruto has to overcome the hatred in his heart towards Pain and find his own answer to peace, which is the most formidable jutsu. I don't know what more to tell you guys. I heard Pain's speech. I'm not moved by it. You were. That's good. If you were moved by it, that's great. It's more interesting, but try to put yourself in the character's perspective. On wars, you have three sides. Those who lost the most, the losers. Those who lost the least, the winners. And those who manipulate, profit from the most, the instigators. For when he describes his nation wasn't either of these three, instead became a victim. And for no reason, your nation became a victim. The rest of the world doesn't care. Think of their suffering. So that creates, exactly. And again, it's nothing new here. Yes, so that's why Pain feels slighted. That's why Pain felt his pain and feels like he needs to take the lead in whether or not he's genuine about it, about bringing peace, but definitely bringing pain to those who brought pain to him. And I know because he was the downtrodden, I'm supposed to hear his speech and go, turn on a dime. Now I get it. Now I'm Team Pain. No. You know, Pain has got his reasons. The Leaf has their reasons. Neither one of their hands are clean. I'm rooting for the people that I've grown to really enjoy in the story. That's the way it goes. And as it turns out, I have huge, huge amounts of respect for Pain at the end because just what I said, because of his complete ability, which is very rare in the real world for sure, for a long-held belief that was put there by fire, the fire of his pain. He was able to look at that honestly and say, you know what, maybe I can see where, you know, the two of us being brothers of the same sensei, maybe being together is better type thing. That wowed me. But again, sometimes I hear so much of this stuff, so much of the, oh, you hate this one, you hate that one, that I almost, when I get to those points where I have an epiphany about somebody, or I see something about someone that really makes me rethink how I see them, just like Pain rethought his actions, it actually makes me almost hesitant to say it. but yes, that was huge to me, what Pain said at the end. Let's see. The Hidden Leaf was like the USA. We pushed and outcast the Native Americans. Wage war. So, yeah, but there's some of those similarities are very obvious in the writing. Yeah, and left the country and allies. If you can justify what, then you should be able to at least see an angle of Payne's point of view. I don't know why you guys think that just because I don't agree with Payne's method, that somehow I can't see that he feels that there's justification in him coming after the Leaf. Washable Chunk actually has it. Peace can only be achieved by derailing the train. Not a Payne fan. Actually, like I say, I like Payne. I like the character. I think it's a great villain. At the point I am now, I have huge respect for him as well. Still don't think his plan was anything new, anything different, anything other than typical plans of warfare. I don't see anything different about it. He was going to bring his version of the world through force. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm faulting him for it. Certainly by any means, I'm not faulting him for it. It doesn't, however, mean because he was the little guy who was downtrodden, I immediately have to root for him. And as this is more the same thing. You destroy my country, okay. Well, let's think that I don't love my country that much. The soldiers kill my parents, oh shit. Yes, again, this is all stuff that I completely get. I think pretty much we've covered the sentiment that gets repeated over and over and over. As far as me, I like having these conversations. That's why there was a live stream about it all day today. It was a blast having them. Some of the comments in here and stuff, when they get insulting or when they get over the top fanboyish, it makes me think that maybe anything that's going to bring on a difference of opinion is stuff you guys don't really enjoy. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about that, because pretty much the whole arc is already recorded. But if that clears it up, I do try the best I can. I think you guys see that, to be responsive whenever there's an issue within the community. That's what I'm trying to do here, is let you guys know, because again, I don't expect you to agree with me, but what I'm trying to explain is I understand Payne's motivations. I just don't agree with how he went about things. That's what makes good... Shut the fuck up, Train. That's what makes for good storytelling, though. If it was so black and white that everybody was on one side or the other, that's pretty vanilla storytelling. So it's actually a good thing. It just seems like sometimes these fictional characters become a little bit more important to people than is psychologically healthy. That's my whole concern with it. But outside of that, again, in this video, feel free to let me know what you think again. That's as best as I can explain it for you. That's the way I feel about it as it stands right now, where I've watched, not what you've seen, where I've watched. I love the way Payne, and again, don't spoil in the comments. All I've seen is to where Payne sends out those waves after him and Naruto have their conversation. I don't know what that's going to do exactly to what was the Leaf Village. I just saw the purple waves going out there and then the toads discussing it, so don't spoil that in the comments. But as it stands right now, I have huge amounts of respect for Payne, because one of the hardest things in life to ever do, as I said, is be going down a certain path and have the wherewithal and the fortitude and the ability to look at oneself to say, you know what, maybe this is a better way to go. So I have huge respect for that. Let me know what you guys think.